A woman identified as the wife of the disgraced Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba, on Monday fainted at the Federal High Court in Abuja. She collapsed on the floor shortly after Justice Emeka Nwite deferred ruling on bail applications filed by Kyari and 6 other persons facing drug trafficking charges pending the determination of the case. Donning a black hijab, the woman slumped as armed operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) were leading Kyari and other defendants away from the court premises. She was later taken to the third floor of the court by some lawyers and officials of the NDLEA, where efforts were ongoing to revive her. The judge had fixed March 28, 2022 for the ruling on the bail application filed by the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Kyari, and 6 others. They are to be remanded in the custody of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agencies (NDLEA) pending the ruling on the bail application. He said the undertaking by the defense counsel that the defendants would be of good behavior in the NDLEA custody can be revoked if they do not behave well while in detention. Kyari was charged with criminal offenses alongside 4 other senior police officers, and 2 civilians on 8 counts bordering on drug trafficking. At the resumed hearing of the case last Monday, Kyari and 4 other defendants pleaded not guilty to the 8 counts, while the 6th and 7th defendants pleaded guilty to counts 5, 6, and 7. The prosecution counsel, Joseph, Sunday, asked the court for an adjournment to enable them to review the facts against the defendants. He said this would enable them to confront them with the evidence. He also argued that going ahead with the case would not be in the interest of the 6th and 7th defendants who had pleaded guilty to count 5, 6, and 7. Counsel for Kyari, Kanu Agabi, said they had filed an application for bail, adding that the defendants were entitled to bail because it was a bailable offense. He argued that the decision of the prosecution to review the facts against the defendants was unnecessary, noting that it would amount to prejudice if the allegation preferred against the defendants turned out to be false. The presiding judge, after listening to the arguments of the parties involved in the case, adjourned the matter to March 14th to enable the parties to file and exchange the necessary processes regarding the matter. In the charge filed by Joseph Sunday, NDLEA Director of Prosecution and Legal Services, the agency accused Kyari and the 4 other police officers of conspiracy, obstruction, and dealing in cocaine weighing 17.55 kg. It also alleged that Kyari and his men unlawfully tampered with 21.25 kg worth of cocaine. Umeibe and Ezewanne were accused of conspiring with others at large to import 21.35 kg of cocaine into the country. Meanwhile, a human rights lawyer, Ineibe Effiong, had urged the agency to stay action on filing charges against the disgraced police chief Kyari. The suspended police chief was remanded in the custody of the NDLEA after allegedly attempting to bribe an official of the Nigeria with $61,000 to facilitate the release of the seized cocaine. So at the end of the day, well, of course, now they are going to be dragging this whole thing. They are dragging Lami on one side. We say that, you know, when it comes to the issue of money laundering, this and that, Kyari is not involved or was not involved, whichever way. But at the end of the day, when he begins to receive a backlash left, right, and center, I say, oh no, that was not what he meant. Oh, that was not what he meant. He didn't exonerate him. So what did you see? So now, that is that. They are going to be going back and forth on this matter until we see where it will land. I think when it comes to the issue of the drug trafficking of it, Malami is going to come into that. He's still dealing with the issue of a hush puppy with Abba Kyari. Once it's done with that, it's going to come to talk about the, how do they say, the NDLA matter. But now that the woman is fainting, matter never go anywhere. She's done the faint. They never even fit talk this one finish. They won't talk about FBI. She don't the faint. She has to be strong. This is the time she needs to be strong, because they've been spending money. They've been forming big woman hair like that. Big girl, the wife of the big boy. Okay, I have kissed so many innocent Igbo youths. According to Abba Kyari'S confession, that somebody is saying that Abba Kyari said he has kissed so many innocent Igbo youths. He has kissed so many innocent Nigerian youths after robbing them of thousands and millions and selling same drugs for himself and cronies. What a shameful life he's got to face. Why fencing? I thought that there is no enough evidence to extradite her husband. If man tries to cover up evil, God Almighty has a way of exposing it. Who exposed him in the first place if not God? Just two sittings alone and they are already slumping. Okay. Okay, Mrs. Uchechi Okukano for President Strong Women Association. Okay. That one, if she don't defend, just do this, she don't defend. So then what happens to Nnamdi Kanu's wife? This is a drama. Pour her water to wake up. When you are eating his blood money, you didn't faint then. Drama indeed. She's seeking for a way to save her husband. I love these people, the way they do things. Dino, well done. Your students are doing well. They need to go and take lectures from Dino Melayo and the rest of them that are only forming things. Hunter is being hunted. Practice what you preach. What is the title of the film that she fainted? It's time the Nigerian judiciary get use of this fainting, slumping, and head on with their judgment as deemed fit. I'm not bothered, because even if it is Kyari himself that slumps, the judgment shall go on. Even in his casket, his atrocities shall not go unpunished. Criminals everywhere. When her husband was killing people's husbands, he never slumped. When Abba Kyari was busy killing innocent people, converting their money to ease, building presumed suspects into car boots, those people's wives and relatives cried and no one heard them. Now it is payback time. God is watching. God is rewarding him. The woman should compose herself and watch her husband undergo prosecution. Simple. Slumping at the court premises cannot exonerate him for trial.